knew it. Oh man, don't tell me this nigga sick, blood.
Hey, so you too. Oh man. So
That make a big difference.
NBA playoffs have been going on for about a week. The series that everybody was kind of anticipating and waiting for, the Boston versus Brooklyn series, is kind of, even though it's 3-0, I still wouldn't say it's a dud, I don't think. But Kevin Durant has not looked good in any other 3 games. What do you think Boston is doing that's making him so ineffective, or is it just him not playing with?
Oh, y'all waiting for me?
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't hear you say my name. You got to address the Kane by the name. The Kane go by the Kane name.
Man, ain't nobody got to address you no certain way.
You got to address me. It's Kane. Anywho.
You go ahead, LJ.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Boston is doing a couple of things. One, obviously, I think anybody with 2 eyes that's watched these games can see that Boston is being beyond physical with Kevin Durant, whether he has the basketball or whether he doesn't have the basketball. They're making it, they're basically not giving him anything. And that when I say not giving him anything, I mean like if he's screening somebody, if he's screening, they putting the forearm on him. If he's coming off a screen, they bumping him. They're doing a pretty good job, in my mind, of being in the gap and being ready to help and helping in a way that they're showing their numbers. I don't feel like going in all these technical terms and all that. But anyways, and the other thing that I think that Boston is doing a really good job of is they're playing him for his jump shot. Like, I mean, people, I'm turning on to pregame shows and stuff like that, or just on Twitter or whatnot. And people keep marveling at the fact that, Kevin Durant has had his jump shot blocked, which for years people have somehow said that, it's unblockable. It's unblockable. But to me, Boston is basically saying, hey, we're going to be incredibly physical with you, and you're going to have to go to the rim. And if you don't go to the rim, we're going to sit on your we're going to sit on your jump shot. We're going to sit on the little mid-range that you like to do, where you take a dribble or two and pull up, whether it's getting to the elbow and fading a little bit to your left or whatever it is. We're going to sit on it. And I think that they're doing a very good job of that. And until Kevin Durant decides that he's going to, basically say, okay, you're going to sit on my jump shot. Not necessarily that I'm going to turn into another player, you know what I mean, and start exclusively driving. But I'm going to, maybe take one more dribble and then start getting to the rim a little bit, and in hopes of, being able to create a little bit more separation to be able to get his preferred shot off, which is the jump shot. The other thing I would say Boston is doing defensively is I forgot the coach name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it
Udoka?
Udoka. He is he's sticking to his game plan. And a lot of times when you game plan in basketball, what you end up coming up with is, hey, if this guy's gonna beat us, we're gonna live with it. And I think he's done a great job of sticking to it and saying, if Bruce Brown is gonna beat us, then we're gonna lose. But if and Bruce Brown has had big games. I think I know for sure the last 2 games.
Every game. Okay, I think so.
Yeah, so he out there lighting it up, but I mean, Emi Udoka has basically said, okay, Bruce Brown, if we're gonna have to lose a series because a guy that is way down the roster is gonna beat us, then that is, to me, that's the job of a coach to say, all right, we don't want the guys we know are supposed to beat us to beat us. Somebody else is gonna have to do it, and I think he's done a great job of sticking to it because I know at times as a coach, when you see that guy or that gal that you say, okay, we want them to beat us, when they start hitting a few shots, you start to, doubt it and be like, oh, do we, but then you start to doubt it and want to switch it up. And then maybe that star player gets going, but they have, to his credit and to his players' credit, they have believed and stuck to that game plan. And I started to say, all right, let me slide off a little Kevin Durant a little bit more because Brown is getting going. They like, nope, if you're going to shoot floaters all day and you're going to beat us, then we're going to lose. But Kevin Durant ain't going to beat us. I would say if Brown is shooting more shots on a consistent basis per game than Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, to me, as a coach, you've done your job. And if Brown beats you, you just got to shake his hand. Because if Brown going to get going and Kevin Durant, you're just going to lose anyway. That's how I look at it.
Chris Brown 5 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists in the first game.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with what LJ said too. Like, they just doing a great job of being real physical with it, man, and not letting him do what he typically does and wants to do. Is to shoot that, like I said, that two dribble inside the three or the pull up three in transition. They making him. They just sitting on it. They trying to make him drive. Like I said, every time even if he not got the ball, they putting bodies on him. Even on defense, they bumping him. I'm looking at it as that they actually have went back to like late 80s, early 90s basketball, which is probably why he doesn't want to drive. When he come down the lane, they hit him. I think what he should do is just be a superstar. Go to the hole and get those, allow himself to get those superstar foul calls. Put him in foul trouble. If you're going to stop me from shooting and keep me out my rhythm, I'm just go to the hole and put you in foul trouble. Eventually, they're going to have to stop and change up at some point. That's just my thoughts on this.
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think if LeBron James was having these same 3 games, would he get the same amount of criticism, less criticism, or more criticism than what Kevin Durant?
It depends on which LeBron James we're talking about. If we're talking about LeBron this year, I think he'd get the same amount of criticism. If it was early in his career, he wouldn't get it at all because he was still a darling. But we've seen this from him. Not as much, but we've seen this in 2011 when they played the Mavericks. We've seen this before for LeBron. And he didn't get as much bad credit or bad press about it, in my opinion.
Man, I think they'd be smoking LeBron. It'd be on a whole nother level because I think like
this year, I think so. I'm with you this year, but I think LeBron in Miami and LeBron when he went back to Cleveland the second time, I don't think so.
The only reason I say it would be much worse is because like when it comes to LeBron, at least from what I see, looking up from Twitter and on these talking head TV shows, when it comes to LeBron, it can never just be isolated in terms of like he's having a bad season or he's having a bad game or a bad series. It always comes back to, well, he's supposed to be the best basketball player ever. It always transitions into that Jordan comparison, into that is he the best player ever comparison. And I think that's why I would say it mushrooms to a whole different level because it doesn't like. Could you imagine if this was LeBron and then they would be on TV like this the guy y'all saying is supposed to be better than Jordan? He only took 11 shots and he had, you know what I mean? Like, so it mushrooms to a whole different level and it don't be just by like, okay, he having a bad series. He done had a bad series before. It becomes like, this the dude y'all saying the best player ever? This the dude that, you know what I mean? So that's why I say it would be a lot more for LeBron because it may start off as like, what, like, okay, he having some bad games, but it morphs into everything else. What is this? The guy y'all say is supposed to be this? He's supposed to be better than blah blah blah. So I would say he'd be getting like it'd be crazy.
Part two of that question. Do you think the reason why LeBron gets that much criticism is because one, people think he's actually like in their minds and hearts think he's better than Jordan, or like very close to being better than Jordan, or two, because of how LeBron acts and his arrogance, like he's been caught a couple of times saying he knows he's the greatest and stuff like that. But do you think it's more so like because people actually think he's that close to Jordan, or because of LeBron's actions why people criticize him much more? Because KD's pretty quiet. He don't really talk like that except on the burner accounts.
My personal opinion is because there's I think it's like a sort of like a generational thing in terms of like, I wouldn't know what an age cutoff, but a lot of people that are, younger than me who didn't grow up watching Jordan, they think LeBron is the greatest basketball player ever. And I don't think it's him. I think it's like, and I forgot your question, so I can't even answer it.
The reason he gets so much criticism. You'd actually answered the question. That's crazy.
I thought I was going there, but then I forgot where I was going with it. So I don't even remember the question.
Yeah, I don't know if he's out. It's hard to say. I think people just want somebody to be better than Jordan. So he doesn't get it as much. But
why do you think that?
Like honestly, like LJ said, it's a generation thing. More people who are going LeBron didn't see Jordan. But in the fact that like me and LJ, and to a certain extent you as well, we've actually had a chance to see both.
I think Jordan can become a better basketball player each day.
You think Jordan becomes a better basketball player?
Absolutely.
Well, that's another conversation, but okay.
No, I'm just saying. I think he each day Jordan missed one less shot a day.
Are you talking about according to other people? Or you being serious right now?
No, I'm being serious. Being serious, like people's perspective. I think, like the generation that, like to say what LJ's talking about, the generation that thinks Jordan is the best, right? In 5 years, Jordan gonna shoot 100% from the field. Like Jordan will never miss a shot in their minds.
I can speak for myself. I personally never thought he was the best.
We already know.
It's kind of hard. Well, no. I mean,
LJ really like you up.
No, now
excuse me.
Just because now I'm not gonna say my favorite player is the best.
We already know.
I'm not gonna say that. Honestly, bro, I think me personally, at the end of the day, I mean, his killer instinct is what's going to probably stop him from getting it now. But if he had that killer instinct as a Jordan or Kobe, hands down, there wouldn't even be conversation. LeBron would be the best player to ever play the game.
What's the killer instinct?
Like LeBron, he will, like to me, he will have the next time, so he will defer. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll check out the game sometime if it's like a close game or if they're losing and some not going his way. We've seen the clips where
I know.
He'll make a turnover, and he won't even hustle back down on the other end of the court. He'll just watch.
I bet there were some times Jordan did that.
I'm pretty sure it is. But that's what I'm saying. If he had that killer instinct, the will that, you know what, no matter what, I'm going out here and win this game, like Jordan Kobe had, it wouldn't even be a question. It wouldn't even be a question who's the best player.
Kobe had a moment.
What moment was that? Now I remember Kobe having a moment
Game
where
7
said,
against the Phoenix Suns version.
I remember him having a moment where he said, you know what? I'm gonna let them see what they would be like without me. And he just deferred and they lost. I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He didn't take a shot. Well, he took some shots in the second half, but essentially he didn't take no shots in the second half.
Yeah, and it wasn't him having a real. That wasn't a true moment in my opinion.
Okay.
But hey, you're a Lakers fan. I'm not, so I'm not gonna. I defer to you. You said that was a moment. Hey, I go with that.
He
Man,
was
I
trying to
totally
prove a point, but he picked the wrong time to try to prove a point. I tell you, he could have did that game one of the next year.
Yeah.
He had to choose
You got a
that
point.
very
You
moment.
got a point.
Neither one of them are better than Jordan. So
But okay, we're not gonna we ain't gonna have so we're not gonna go too deep into it. But I want to ask you a question.
yeah, you can't argue about facts. You're right. I agree with you.
You said Jordan is the best of all time. What is he the best at?
No. I'm not saying Jordan is the best of all time. I would never say that.
Okay, you said he's better than them.
No, I'm saying
Jordan,
like for me, Jordan is the best player that I've ever seen. I can't say the reason I say I can't say he's the best of all time. I never really seen Will Chamberlain play or Bill Russell, people like that. So I can't say that he's the best basketball player of all time. I can just say that for me, somebody that I can say that I consistently watched, to me, Jordan is the best basketball player I've ever seen.
You know, like not to get in the conversation who is the best, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how people bring up now Wilt didn't win as much, right? But it's crazy how people like just dismiss his stats. So he's like, oh, because he was this and because he was that.
well, I mean,
like that.
Can't help the timing, but people he was so much taller than everybody and more physically dominant than everybody.
So was Sean Bradley.
It is what it is. Yeah, Sean Bradley.
That's disrespectful. Like Will Chamberlain was like a ridiculous. From what I've heard, Will Chamberlain was like a ridiculous athlete.
No, yeah. I'm saying he was saying so much taller than everybody. I said so was Yao Ming and Sean Bradley, but they didn't dominate.
Right, but they wasn't so much like they were taller than everybody, but not. I think Yao Ming was a little overrated, but that's here and there.
You say I was listening. JJ Redick. Somebody was talking about JJ Redick. I think JJ Redick was saying Kyrie Irving was better than Bob Cousy. And that dude said something. And JJ Redick was like Bob Cousy was playing against plumbers and firemen. That made me think of Will Chamberlain. He said he's playing against plumbers and firemen.
That is, I mean, you hear that a lot when they say like about football players, baseball players, how they had regular jobs and then they played the sport. But that's I don't know if that takes away from their talent level or if it adds to their talent level. You know what I mean?
It probably take away some. I would say it take away only because like, and it's only to a certain extent because like, I mean, you got to think about it nowadays. Like if you're an NBA player, that's all you do. That's all you have to do is play basketball. You know what I mean? You can train year round, which even though it don't seem like a lot of guys train, because as much as we talk about it, most of the guys in the NBA can't shoot. Excuse me. Most of the guys in the NBA aren't good shooters. Probably, I mean, we probably could say 85, 90% of players in the NBA are not good shooters. But it's neither here nor there.
Think so?
Oh, I know so. Yeah, I know so. You ain't got to think about it. The shooting percentages will tell you that most of you can't shoot.
I already told you his son shoots better than everybody else.
Hold on.
Yeah, he shoot better. My son shoot better than all y'all.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, and
I put my money on that.
I would say now obviously 3-point hadn't been around, that long really. But aren't the 3-point percentages going up? I don't know. I'm asking.
No.
And not.
Okay. I mean, I think from what I can tell, from what I can think of, you may have more guys that are shooting in the 40s, but on top of that, conversely, the league average on 3-pointers is still roughly the same every year, about 36 to 37%. That's about the league average.
I was gonna say I think more people are quote unquote spot up shooters now versus like shoot off the dribble. I don't think a lot of people shoot off the dribble.
That may be the case, but I'm just saying like most guys can't shoot. Like it's just like when you hear I'm trying not to go down this analytics rabbit hole because I'm not an analytics guy, but when you hear guys say, well, there's no value in shooting a mid-range jump shot. Listen, there's no value in shooting any shot you can't make. I just want to put that out there for for all you analytics folks who say, well, there's no
Who
value.
laid that on Stan Van
I mean,
Gundy? Was it Stan?
Nah, Daryl
Who was
Morey.
no. Who's the Magic coach? It was Stan Van Gundy, right?
It gets better than mine. He was a Magic coach for a minute.
Yeah, he said the mid-range jump shot is the worst shot you can ever take.
Yeah. That's because, and I would say this to any player in playing basketball: any shot you can't make consistently is a bad shot. It does. You know what I mean? Like, so like they say, the mid-range jumper is a bad shot, but think about the greatest scorers in our lifetime.
Yep.
Hey, Kawhi Leonard.
I'm going to say Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
And think about the game-winning shots you see. The overwhelming majority of them probably are mid-range jump shots.
I think if you think about it, and I don't really consider him a great scorer, but most people do. Most people that talk basketball on TV do, I should say that. The only person I can think of that's a great scorer that don't really shoot mid-range jumpers is James Harden.
That's true. He's it. And you know what? The problem James Harden had, you ain't never heard nobody say James Harden was clutch, and he always struggled in the playoffs. Because people started playing defense. I mean, not playing defense. You focus in a little bit more on team 10. And that don't mean James Harden ain't getting buckets, but you focus in a little bit more on tendencies and trying to take certain things away. And not
James Harden ain't a playoff player.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? And we can even make an argument that throughout his career, Steph hasn't been as good in the playoffs as he has in the regular season.
I think it's the finals. I don't know if it's the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think more so the final. It could be more so the final.
Which is weird because like the way he plays, you really can't defend him, if that makes sense.
I think it's more so because he's probably already done so much in the playoffs, he's just tired. That's a long run throughout the whole season, and then
that, or like it's just does he feel the pressure? That makes sense. Like he's like, I'm the greatest.
Could be a little both.
You don't want no championship. You shouldn't feel no pressure.
I'm saying during those runs, because even when he's never won the Finals MVP.
Yeah, you don't even.
Well, we know he got robbed out of that first one. He got robbed of that first one.
Yeah, when they
didn't do nothing to win it. Yeah.
They gave it to Iguodala.
We know that.
They gave it to Iguodala because he was guarding LeBron, and LeBron averaged 35 and triple-double.
Yeah, I said, man, that triple-double, you get MVP.
Yeah, man. And LeBron. Oh,
I ain't no LeBron fan, but that was wild. You get a man MVP who got a triple-double dropped on his head every game.
What y'all think about this Timberwolves series?
Hold on, I actually haven't watched it.
I've only seen bits and pieces of the plays. I haven't watched the full game yet, but it's interesting. It's a good matchup.
Man, it's been a good series. Two real young teams. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. Jaren Jackson, I think that's his name. His first name.
Is Minnesota young though?
Yeah, they are. If you look at
just their best player is young.
No. If you look at a lot of their players, they got a lot of young cats on their squad. Yeah, they got a lot of young cats on their squad. I think the one thing I see in this series is that, and I hope that this is a note for all young basketball players out there. You gotta learn how to shoot the ball, man. You gotta learn how to shoot the basketball, and not solely rely on your athleticism. We got two incredibly talented guards that are just like making, like, you know what I'm saying, they get into the bucket or whatever. But like if you look at the stats, Ja Morant offensively, he hadn't done very much last, 2 games in terms of scoring. I think he had 16 last night. And then the game
had 16 the other day with a triple-double. I think that was last game.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't last night. It was the game before that where he had the triple-double.
Yeah. With the 16, yep.
And but I mean, two young explosive guards, 2 young explosive teams in terms of offensively. It's been a fun series. Been a fun series to watch. Now, neither one of them to me are ready to win against a veteran team in the playoffs. Like whoever come out of this series, I wouldn't be surprised if they only won 1 game in the next series. or get swept. They would not. If Memphis wins this series, I would not be surprised if they got swept. They just don't.
What they play?
I have no idea. It doesn't really matter.
Dang.
And I don't mean that in a negative way towards them, but like
Who's the 3 seed? That's what they would play, ain't it? Or would they play?
I don't know.
5?
If you watch the other playoff series that have teams that are a little bit older and maybe they've been around in the playoff series a little bit, you can see the difference in the way the game is being played in between those series and these 2 series. And I think Memphis, if they win, whoever wins this series will win one. I think they'll win 1 game max, maybe 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they got swept though.
They would play.
I know the one.
They play the Warriors.
If they win, they would play
the Warriors.
Yeah, they play the Warriors. Phoenix will have to play. If the Mavericks win, they play Mavericks.
Phoenix hurting right now too. A lot of injuries this playoffs. I mean, like
Devin Booker got hurt.
It's weird. You know what? It's weird that did they play 82 games this year or was it 72? Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
82?
No, I think it's 82.
Okay. But a lot of injuries, it seems like, you don't normally see this many star players getting injured. Not star players, I shouldn't say star players, but you don't seem to see as many potentially series-altering injuries as you have, like it seemed like the past couple of years. Really about the past 3 or 4 years, because you go back to Clay and Kevin Durant, and then
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, Joel Embiid. Then Kyrie Irving got hurt last year. James Harden got hurt. Giannis got hurt, but then he didn't miss no games.
He missed a couple.
And then this year, he did. Okay, so I couldn't even remember. Then you got Chris Middleton hurt this year. You got Devin Booker hurt.
Chris Middleton hurt. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Devin Booker hurt his hamstring. I don't even know what game they on, to be honest with you over there.
They play game 4 today.
Okay, so I think he hurt his game. I think he hurt his hamstring in game 2.
3,
because Chris Paul had the big 4th quarter in game 1. I think he hurt it. He got hurt in game 2 and they lost. And then Chris Paul had the big 4th quarter in game 3. And then so they coming up on game 4.
Does Steve Nash make it past this week?
Oh man, he might not make it through the series. They might fire him in the middle of the series. Yeah. No, man, it's over.
I think they go. Honestly, I would think he probably deserved to be gone. But they probably give him another year. Watch, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's over for Steve Nash, dog.
Does Kyrie resign?
He did. I don't know who re-signed. I don't even know, but I'm just telling.
Does he?
For sure. For sure. Only because him and Kevin Durant seem to be, I don't mean this in a negative way, but they just seem to be saying, listen, we're gonna play basketball together as long as we can. And they ain't really concerned to me, from the outside looking in, it does not appear as though they are looking at anything. They're not, because you know how like you always hear that LeBron trying to find the best situation he can win in. You know what I mean? They don't appear to be looking for the best situation they can win in. They want to play together, and they feel like, to me, they feel like that is good enough in terms of giving them the best opportunity to win is playing together. So I think for sure he resigns. But I don't think there's any way. I don't see a way that Steve Nash comes back unless they pull out this miracle and come back and then make a run. Then yeah, he would come back. But other than that, and even if then, like they would have they got to get maybe to the finals, at least to game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals for him to come back. Other than that, I think like I'm guessing, I don't even know who their GM is. Oh, did I lose y'all?
Sean Mark?
Yeah, Sean Mark. I'm guessing if they looking at it now, I don't rely on the media, but you could get the impression that, Steve Nash might be getting out coached or their scheme is better. But, I always hear people say that anybody who,
So I don't really think he's that good of a coach anyway.
Well, you wouldn't know because he ain't ever coached nowhere, so you couldn't even.
That's
You
what I'm
ain't had a
saying.
chance to even judge him.
I'm judging off what I've been seeing since he been there.
No, I meant like like people
So
have
outside
generally
of that,
coaches have a previous track record before
right?
their current job. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's been as an assistant coach.
I get you.
It is wild though. I guess. Well, now Steve Kerr was in the front office before, but kind of switching from basketball. Some receivers got paid. Some wide receivers got paid this summer. I shouldn't say something. This off season, and now one is requesting a trade because reportedly he don't like the way he's
Let's
being
go
used.
get him. Let's go get him.
Why?
Who is that?
Hold up. Before let me finish the question, and then I'm gonna jump into that. So he's reporting not being like the way he's being used. Are we starting to see player empowerment in the NFL? Before y'all answer the question, Dios, y'all complain about your offense coordinator every day, how he ain't got no creativity. So why you want to go get Deebo Samuel? And his whole premise is based off creativity.
So we don't need to use him as a running back.
He don't want to play running back.
That's what I'm saying. So he would do all right. We can use him. He can step in and do what Cooper was doing.
You think he just? I don't think Deebo Samuel is just a receiver like that. Let's start there. But anyway,
I can't necessarily disagree with you on that.
Okay, so what you want him for?
Why not?
Well, go trade 3 first-round picks for him. Go do it, please.
I'm here to tell Deebo Samuel one thing.
I wouldn't have to. You don't have to. I look at it like this. If the 49ers is looking to get so much for him, all the teams, if they don't want to do, all they do is wait. Just wait. He's going to leave. He'll leave next year. This is last year's contract anyway. He'll leave.
That's the misconception. And franchise tags and all that. He ain't free. Man,
to me, that don't even hold as much weight anymore because we see what players do on them franchise tag.
What they do?
Hold out and don't play, don't sign. Make you have to trade them.
Okay, that's fine. Go sit down. I ain't got to pay you.
You're right. And they gonna when did they sign that? They just re-signed that bargain, didn't they? They just redid that about a year ago.
I don't know about the collective bargaining, but it's still in control of the owners. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, okay. How many players did Devontae Adams got out of it, didn't
he? You said what?
Devontae Adams just got away from that agreement. They tried to franchise him. He said he ain't signed. And where he at now? Raiders.
There's one player.
He ain't the only one.
Name another one.
Let me think about it. I'm confused up here. I got 2 spots right here.
Why LJ giving his answer,
Hello?
you think about it.
Yeah.
And then he ain't gonna give his answer.
But I think he did. I know he did it. Who else did it recently? In the past couple years.
Le'Veon Bell, look where he at.
Le'Veon a different ball game.
Yeah.
He was a clown. He deserved to be where he at. But nah, man. Like
you can say Deshaun Watson, but I think if it wasn't for them cases, I think Deshaun Watson has still be in Houston.
Facts, I agree. I agree.
As crazy as that sounds, I think if it wasn't for them cases, it'd still be in Houston.
But it's not that crazy. They had just signed it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, so they'd have been like, bro, I don't have to trade you. You just signed a contract.
But I don't think he was holding out for that. It was more so because
he was holding out because he wanted to leave.
He wasn't even holding out. Well, yeah, he was finna hold out.
Yeah, he was talking about how he wanted to leave.
They just told him he couldn't play.
Like, bro, how you gonna sign a contract the next day talking about you don't want to be here?
Well, he signed a contract and then they traded D-Hop.
Nah, I think they traded him before. They traded D-Hop before that contract. Yeah.
You'd have to check that.
Because he never played a down on that new contract, which is bizarre because he got a new contract after that.
Now y'all waiting on a Kane to come in.
Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah. You said you was gonna have something to say about Deebo Samuel. You ain't no I don't know why you even talking about that.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead and answer.
What was the question? You said it should be.
Are we starting to see player empowerment in the NFL?
Nah. Hell nah. Because ain't none of these players that good that keep getting traded. Except for Devontae Adams. Deebo Samuel.
You don't think Tyreek was good?
I don't think he did. He demand a trade though.
I don't think he demanded it. He ain't demanded it. They just traded him off.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't seen no play empowerment. Deebo Samuel said he don't want to be a running back. I got it. But I'm going to tell Deebo Samuel this. When I pay you, you going to do what the hell I ask you to do.
You ain't got to pay me. Trade me.
Huh?
Trade me.
But somebody going to pay you.
Oh, yeah, somebody going to pay me. That's what I'm saying. He telling me, you ain't got to pay me. You can trade me.
Yeah. For sure. Somebody will pay him. But then here's the thing that you have to be careful of. And I understand if I was Deebo Samuel, if I was advising him, I would say, listen, I would say the cat is out the bag, Jack. Or whatever they're saying, you can't put it back in. People know what you can do with the football in your hands coming out the backfield or when it's handed to you. For you to think that at this young age, people gonna pay you all this money and just expect that you gonna go outside, just be an outside receiver, it ain't happening.
I don't think he's that great at it.
And I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying, like, since Deebo Samuel has been in the league, what is his value? His value has been a guy you get the ball to, whether it's running back, receiver, not a guy like Devontae Adams, where you say, hey, we're going to line him up outside and we're going to throw him the ball. He's going to give me 100-plus receptions, 10-plus touchdowns, 15, 16. You know what I mean? He ain't shown that. He has shown himself to be a guy who's great after the catch. You can hand him the football, all these different things. So, listen. If you don't do what what I'm saying is he wants a big contract, right? Based on what he's done in the past. But now he's saying, I don't want to do that no more. And then as a GM, I'm gonna be like, well, what the hell am I gonna pay you for? Like, I'm paying.
I understand why he's lining it up that way. I get it. Because at the end of the day, he's looking at when I go to renegotiate, they're gonna tell him, hey, we need to pay you on running back salary because you spend a great amount of your time on running back.
I think it's
that's what they're gonna try to do. That's the same thing they do with tight ends who play a lot of receiver. They don't want to pay your receiver because the receiver can pay more money.
But I think in his case, he's more like, look, I can't be playing running back like this because running backs don't last long.
Yeah.
So in order to extend my
career, they don't get paid as much.
I don't want to be. I don't think everybody knows he's gonna get paid money, but I think he's saying, I want to get paid money more than
receiver
once.
Money, not running back
more
money.
than once.
I mean, you could be right, bro. You could be very right.
But he ain't shown that he deserves elite receiver money. That's what I'm saying. No.
I mean, he's the best thing for it now. I don't know why he did.
Good help. That don't mean nothing.
In your opinion, why hasn't he shown that?
Well, what I'm saying is, Deebo Samuel has shown that his value is getting the ball in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his value is, right? That's what. Hold on, I'm trying to look up his receiving stats.
Okay,
so
I'll look it up.
If his value is getting the ball in multiple ways, that means he probably he like if you look at Devontae Adams stats, right? You ain't got to guess where most of his production is. Would that be it? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Right. But if you look at Deebo Samuel, when you think of Deebo Samuel stats, you probably got to think twice about, okay, well, where's most of his production coming from? Is it coming from him catching the ball, or is it coming from, I'm trying to find his stat. I don't even know what team he played for.
Deebo played with San Francisco.
Yeah, I just figured it out. Okay, yeah, 1,400 receiving yards. You said that's 77 receptions now?
Yeah.
Hey, man, 1,400 yards, that's a lot of yards, bro.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right.
So you still say he don't deserve big time money?
No, I don't think, like I said, I don't think the amount of money is the issue. I think it's, hey, I just don't want to be used that much as a running back because then that means my career not gonna last as long.
I mean, like I
I
said,
don't
you
think
could be
I don't
right.
think the I don't think the amount
I
is
just
the
think
issue.
I think some
Because they've
the money
already
has
said
some paper.
that San Francisco's trying to pay him like to be one of the highest paid players in the league.
Yeah.
He had more rushing touchdowns than he did receiving.
That is a fact.
I would agree with you probably did. I'm not looking at the stats, but if you are, that's what it says. I agree with that.
And
But
I think it was more so like he wasn't running the ball like this at the beginning of the year. It's just after they had some
Yeah,
injuries at running
a
back.
lot of injuries, and
Yeah.
and doing that playoff run. So, which is why I'm saying you might be right. It could be you just don't want to take that punishment like that over a long period of time. You could be right. I just thought it may have been just him trying to push that on that money play into it.
So it's crazy. Before week
I don't think a half gonna go.
before week 9, he never had a game where he had more than 2 rushing attempts.
no, man, Debo Samuel ain't done nothing to get paid like no damn high time receiver.
He's had one great year. That's what I tell you.
Yeah, he done had one great season. No. In 2020, well, like he must have been hurt in 2020. Let me tell you something. In Debo Samuel's career, he got 10 receiving touchdowns. Been there for 3 years. He got 10 receiving touchdowns.
I will say he was drafted to be like a return guy. That's what he was drafted for.
And he got 11 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he played in 7 games.
I'm just saying, the value that he has shown is that you can use him in multiple ways. Now, he might go into a team and say, hey, I don't want to carry the ball. I think I saw that he carried the ball 60 times this past season, which really ain't a lot.
That's what I say. After week 9, that's when it started to ramp up.
Yeah, for a wide receiver, 60 carries is a lot. But, and he fumbled the ball a lot. He fumbled 8 times last year. Yeah. Anyway, like I can understand him saying, hey, listen, I'm a wide receiver. I don't want to carry the ball that many times. Right. So I understand that. But what I'm saying is like the value that he has shown right now as a player is a guy who you get the ball in his hands in multiple ways and he can make big plays. He can make things happen with the football. I mean, it don't matter what Debo Samuel say or do. He is not going to play for any team in the NFL, in my opinion. We'll never line you up and hand you the football. Because that's what his value has been. Other than
they might not hand him the football, but he definitely is going to do some smoke screens, ghost screens, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, he gonna get handed the football. Now he might not line up at running back. It might be reverses,
like a jet sweep or something.
Yeah, it might be something like that. It might not be purely like I'm running between the tackles, but he gonna get a handout. He gonna get some handouts throughout the rest of his career. Otherwise, I'm looking at like, okay, like, well, you haven't shown the value as a receiver to get paid like a top receiver. What your value has been as a playmaker. Should the Cowboys sign him? Hell no. That's what's wrong with the Cowboys now. The Cowboys fan thing. Every good player that's available, the Cowboys should sign.
I ain't gonna say we necessarily should sign. I wouldn't mind having another weapon. I don't think
you just got rid of one.
Why you don't want to get rid of?
First of all, I wasn't the biggest on getting rid of him. I didn't say that. I mean, he didn't want to take a pay cut.
According to y'all got rid of 2 of them.
We lost Wilson. That Wilson was gonna hurt. I think so. I think that's gonna hurt.
Zeke went from being an AK-47 to being a Saturday night special. He done went from to having 30 rounds and being able to kill everything to being a little short barrel 6-shooter.
This boy got some problems.
Little short barrel 6-shooter. He went from being a gun you got to carry across the chest to you get pull him out your boot.
You need some help, bro. You need help, dog. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't want to get on the subject of the Cowboys really, but they really hadn't done nothing in free agency. What is the position? And the draft is this week. It starts Thursday. What is the position y'all think the Cowboys should draft in the first round?
They need to draft me.
I don't know what pick y'all got either.
It don't matter what pick it is. They need to get a lineman, O-lineman. That's my opinion.
Y'all made it to the playoffs, right?
You said, are we?
I said y'all made it to the playoffs, right?
Oh, man, we won the division. Don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, he was trying to be
make the playoffs.
That's all that
Yeah.
was.
Oh,
They didn't make the playoffs.
Now that season over with. I was trying to figure out what pick y'all had. That's why I asked.
Nah, I think we're in the 20s.
Y'all have
I think so.
the 24th overall pick.
Yeah. I think we need O-lineman. All right. Yeah, we need in my opinion, we need a lineman. Because honestly, I think Tyron, you need to go on and move on. Well, I don't think this is a move on, but we need to look at his replacement like ASAP.
Who's y'all right there?
He's our right tackle. They I forgot the guy they decided to roll with because they got rid of
I got rid of Lyle.
Oh no, we let Lyle leave. I think he went to the Dolphins too.
I went to probably went to Cleveland. I don't know. I could be lying.
You could be right.
No, he went to the Bengals. He went to
when they leave, I don't be caring where they go.
He went to the Bengals. That's where he went.
You know, I'm gonna carry my boy go somewhere. I know I like to make that joke.
Who?
My boy. You know who my boy is. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that's who y'all need to let go.
Because of man, why?
But why?
Yeah.
I'm paying him $15 million to do absolutely nothing.
You paying him $15 million, still get us over $1,000 rushing.
Okay.
Brother, that's 50 yards a game.
Hey man. How many running backs don't get that?
Hell, I guarantee you.
A whole lot.
No, I guarantee you not.
He was still in the top 10 rushing this year. So that means there's about another 30-some running backs that's in the NFL that didn't get 50 yards a game.
I said we should go back to the call.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna look it up for you.
Go ahead and look at it. I know he's the top 10 rusher. I know it. So you got a bunch of running backs who didn't even register because they ain't get enough carries or yardage.
Hey,
Bro,
I'll tell you what.
He just
There's a lot of people that's right on his tail that had 30, 40 less carries than him.
Hold on, Christian.
That's fine. It's okay.
Hey, they had
You can be on his tail, but you didn't get it.
Look, 30 less carries and behind them by 30 yards.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's sad, son. Only person that looked like he was that worse, that much worse was Antonio Gibson. He had 20 more carries and only
I don't know who that is.
25 more yards. He played for the Commanders.
Trying to get.
That's why I don't know who that is.
I was trying to get this call.
How you don't know your division?
Because I can care less about them teams. They trash. Just because I don't know every player on the roster of my division don't mean nothing.
You're a starter.
Yeah, who?
You're a starter.
He didn't start all year.
Breaking news, folks. Tweety will say he will be back on this week.
Next week.
That's what he said. Breaking
Yeah,
news.
LJ say he got one of the fat girls pregnant.
He got what?
LJ say he tweeted I got a fat girl pregnant.
Man, watch that.
Okay, there we go.
Watch that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, like an echo.
Okay, I couldn't even hear y'all.
So I didn't. Dios, did you see the Mavericks game yesterday?
Not all of it, but I saw some of it.
Did you see the end?
Yes.
What happened? I was watching, then I stopped watching. I was watching it when they went up 4. I thought the game was over.
Well, it was a couple things like a couple things that led to that loss, man. To start with, Dwight Powell missed 2 crucial free throws that would have pretty much solidified us. But even
Ain't
right
he like
after
a
he
decent
did
free
that,
throw shooter too?
say again.
Ain't he like a decent free throw shooter too?
He's not bad. Yeah, he better than Westbrook.
That ain't hard.
You know what I'm saying? But no, it's not. He's not like I don't think he's an 80% shooter. He's probably like a 70-something% shooter, probably. And he missed
2.
He missed 3. He missed like in the clutch. He missed 3 out of 4. He went 1 and 1, and then he turned around and missed 2 in a row.
Okay.
So yeah, that hurt. And then on top of him missing
if
one,
we get it, then,
he missed one. He went like I said, he went 1 and 1, and then they came and put them up 1, and then they came back, or we put them up 2, something like that. But then they came right back on the next possession and fouled Donovan Mitchell for a 3-point play. He went down, missed 2 free throws. Say again? I don't know, bro. Well, it wasn't like a intentional foul. He drove to the hole and tic tac, and they fouled him. Then they went back on deep. They went back down, and he missed 2 free throws. And then Mitchell came down and did a lob to Gobert, and that did it. So but we still had a chance to win, down 1 with like 8 seconds. Of course, they tried to get the ball out of Luka's hand, and Jalen Brunson got the ball and brought it down. In my opinion, he should have never passed it to Luka. He should have drove past. I think that was Royce O'Neal that was guarding. He could have blew past him. It was easy for him. Instead, he didn't, because he actually had the angle to get past it, but he didn't take it. He passed it to Luka, and Luka took a couple dribbles, and then they immediately sent the double team at it. But everybody else just standing there watching him. Nobody cut to the hole or nothing. So he ended up making a pass, and ended up with shooting a 3 while Gobert was closing out on it. He missed it. That's basically what it was.
Was it something he could have made?
You say, do he think he could have made it? No.
I said, was it something you think he should have made?
No, because he was kind of a rush. I mean, you can make that shot. It wasn't like an unmakeable shot, but it should have never got to that point. Because like I say, Jalen Brunson should have went to the hole instead of passing it to Luka to begin with even knowing they was trying to keep the ball from Luka. And then on top of that, the rest of the team should have had some movement. They were just standing around watching.
Yeah.
Because Luka knew the double team was coming. We all knew the double team was coming.
Really?
Luka was looking like he was waiting for somebody to make the cut, and nobody ever did. So they end up having to force it off to a 3. Wasn't a good shot. Wasn't the best
That
shot.
was down 1, right?
Say again?
That was down 1, right?
Yeah, they were down 1.
Well, you got a forward, don't you?
One more time.
I said you got a forward, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I heard that doo-doo-doo. They the only damn car company make that damn noise.
Hey, that's a team right there that they gonna probably be changed over in the offseason over there.
From Utah?
Yes, sir.
He
I don't
needs
know what
to.
it's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna fire Quinn Snyder. I would think that maybe they'll fire Quinn Snyder, but for sure, I think they're gonna make some changes in their roster. Some. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is going anywhere. But I think that roster is probably peaked. Like whatever people thought they were going to be last year in terms of like or whatever that year whatever year that there was, they surprised everybody or kind of came out of nowhere and ended up being the 1 seed. I think that time is like Utah. They going down here. They going nowhere fast, basically. And I think they gonna
They already traded Joe Ingles, right?
Yeah, they traded Joe Ingles. But I mean, like I'm talking about, like I'm thinking they gonna probably break up that Rudy Gobert,
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
whatever that dude name is, Donovan Mitchell, Aaron. That's my guess anyway.
Does Bogdanovich come back too, or is he gone?
I don't even know who that is. Oh,
I think
he tore his
he's coming
ACL,
back. I
didn't
think
he?
he's coming back. I think he'll be back.
Hello.
Yeah.
I ain't heard nothing you said about, man.
He said he thinks he's coming back. I don't know. I do think Quinn Snyder will not be back.
That's all right. He'll go coach.
Which is no, I think I was just about to bring that up because I was about to say, which is weird because I think his name was being tied to the Lakers, and then he was like, shouldn't say he. It was reported that he withdrew his name because he didn't like how they handled the firing of Frank Vogel. I was like, damn, how you gonna withdraw your name?
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be talking like that. Your team in the playoffs.
So no, she has to say.
So I don't know.
Who? Why would you want to take the Lakers job? Like,
I have no idea.
I mean, besides
No
the
idea.
fact, outside of the fact that if you got a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, you in theory have a pretty solid basis. For one, from what we've seen over the last 2 years, you're not gonna have a healthy LeBron all season. I mean, he's just kind of getting older. I mean, from what we've seen the entire time Anthony Davis has been in the NBA, you're not gonna have a healthy. He's gonna miss probably a quarter.
15.
You can almost, yeah. He's gonna miss probably a quarter of your game, and then the rest of their roster just. I mean, it's just not a very. I mean, they got some good guys, players on that roster. It's just you're probably not gonna win the championship with that roster. And I'm a Malik Monk fan. I like Malik Monk, but if Austin Reeves is in your starting lineup,
Oh, I know.
you know what I'm saying, and that ain't that ain't to knock him, but he might not be to the point in his career, at this point where he should be a starter in the NBA on a championship team. You know what I mean?
I don't like.
And
I
love Carmelo. Been a Carmelo fan. Glad he finally listened to me.
Like if you go to Lakers,
y'all want to give me credit for that
I
right
said,
now?
yeah, because I want to go.
Or we gonna move on?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, everybody.
Move on.
But do you think this plays a factor in the coach want to go there?
Oh man,
if you win,
my internet.
If you win with the Lakers, that coach is not gonna get the credit regardless, right?
Sure.
But if you lose,
get all the blame.
Do you think that plays into a coach's decision whether they want to go there or not?
I think it depends on the coach. If you are a veteran, established coach, I would say it absolutely does. Because but if you kind of like I want to say a young coach, but if you're a guy who maybe this is like one of your first couple of jobs, or you've been out of a job for a couple of years, or something like that.
Trying to get experience.
And I don't think it matters because a championship is a championship. But yeah, you trying to get a guy like Quinn Snyder, man. Quinn Snyder probably like, I ain't finna come over there and deal with all that bull crap. Or or like some old dude who been around for a while, they probably like, man, I'm not gonna deal with all that bull crap y'all got going on over there.
You know what's crazy? The names they came out with, I was like, for one of them I don't want. But anyway, like I think the initial names they came out with was Mark Jackson, Quinn Snyder.
Who is it that you don't want, man?
I'm getting to him. Matter of fact, I'll say it right now. Doc Rivers.
You don't want Mark Jackson.
Doc Rivers.
Man, Doc gonna turn that franchise around.
Yeah, he gonna turn around. But it was Quinn Snyder, Nick Nurse, Doc Rivers, Mark Jackson.
The hospital or the clinic?
And
whatever it is.
I feel like there was one more. That might have been it. And I was like, wow,
maybe if Mark Jackson get Anthony Davis to go to church every Sunday, get him out them street clothes.
When we was talking off camera about that, I think that was part of the issue. They were saying like I don't know if he was making it mandatory, like that they have like a, just for lack of better terms, like church once a week, on Sundays or Wednesdays or whatever day of the week they chose. But I think that was part of the issue that the front office was having with him, which is weird because Tebow was was praised because of his faith.
I was trying to see if I get a big one. Yeah. I just want to trade it and get the big one.
Tebow praised. They said Mark Jackson will make it folks go to church.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't make nobody go to church. Yeah, you could be a Christian or whatever your religion is, but yeah, when you start going into them kind of like job like that, you can't make nobody go to church. Make it man though. We don't love you like that, Mark. What them players say, hey, Mark, we don't love you like that, dog.
Yeah, I think that was like, that wasn't the only issue, but I think that was one of the issues they said was going on. But
Yeah, you end up getting sued for stuff like that.
But does he want to come back and coach? I know he kind of said it, but like I feel like this is like a John Gruden situation. Not saying he'd come back and fail like John Gruden. What I'm saying is, I think it's gonna take a lot of money to get him out that booth. Well, he really not in a booth, but you get what I'm saying. Because you ain't never wrong when you sitting down there commentating. I can tell you that.
Excuse me. I would say the difference between John Gruden and this situation is Mark Jackson ain't really coached long enough to get tired of it. Not to get tired of coaching, but like to really see the impact of the grind. And I don't even know if John Gruden got a family, but he ain't really coached long enough to really feel that grind. 3 years ain't that long in coaching term. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really coached long enough to be like, man, I just need a break. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm happy over here. I think, like, to me, outside looking in, of course, I think he still to a certain extent has something to prove. You know what I mean? Even though, like, you know what I'm saying, he don't get the credit he deserves for not Jason Kidd, I'm sorry. He don't get the credit for where Golden State is now. Because he basically was the architect of turning Steph Curry and Klay Thompson into what they are now. And to getting Golden State headed in the direction to where they are, to end up where they are now. But I don't think it's going to take a crazy amount of money. I think it's just going to take an organization that, you know, is going to, he seems like he might be the kind of guy who is like, hey, I'm going to do it this way. If you either going to hire me to do it my way or I ain't going to take it. You know, we're not going to be negotiating. And then I think I told y'all, assuming that this quote was accurate, there was a quote from the Warriors owner said, listen, everybody can't not like you. Like if it's one or two people, you know, nobody expects everybody to get along. But when it's like everybody in the organization don't like you, then it's a problem. But then it's probably you.
What was going on?
Do you really think everybody disliked him though?
That was the rumor.
I don't know Mark Jackson.
How about that? That was the rumor. He never really came out.
Players said they disliked him.
That's different though.
Should that be what matter?
This is the beginning. I mean, think about it from the owner. Like,
true.
As an owner, you like, if I don't like you, why am I paying you?
Because you're producing. I ain't gotta like you.
But at some point, relationship matter.
True, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
You might be producing, but if I need to come talk to you about something every time we talk, it's tension. And you know what? I ain't got time for that headache.
I agree.
But I do find, even though he had problems with that organization, and it could be to what LJ was speaking of, I just find it weird that he hadn't got another job because he was successful at his last one.
That's why I always thought it was been blackballed, man. Something's up with that.
Yeah, you know that what that means.
You said what?
Saying. No, I was saying that's what they've been saying for a while. What Deal saying that people been saying that in the media and all that. They've been like he's reportedly blackballed. That's why he ain't got any job.
But now he's popping up in coaching searches again. I guess you can always pop up in a coaching search though.
Yeah, I'm like, but he's been in conversations a couple times. He just they won't give him the chance. Because if I'm not mistaken, when Steve Nash got that job, wasn't he in the conversation for that too?
Yeah, but then your boy came out and said he wanted Steve Nash. So there you go. And by your boy, I mean Kevin Durant.
I think the climate. I think the climate that we're in right now in our country makes it harder for him to get a job based on some of the things that were reported as issues with Golden State. You know, we are in a very not sure the right word to use. But you know, it's much more like
non-black friendly.
No, I'm not.
It's
It's not even. I think it's related to church and the views of the church.
Got it.
In terms of how it plays out in society, you know, and so you have a lot more people who are living their lives openly in terms of homosexuality, transgender, et cetera, or the LGBT community, and they have a lot more power than they
Tread
did.
lightly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. So you have a guy who's coming in with like a really, really heavy religious background, and he already has that reputation, whether it's right or wrong. People in the organization not liking him, you know, it's and forcing people to go to church. I'm not saying that any of this is true. And try to force people to go to church, you know, it could, it kind of can make that office environment a little bit more combustible. And I could think it could impact teams willing to hire him. I bet he probably gets asked about religion when he goes in for interviews, if he interviews for jobs, or his religion in particular, and how that impacts him. And because, I think he's still a preacher, or he was a preacher or something like that.
Not for certain if he is or not.
Said what?
I was saying I'm not sure if he is or not. It's just interesting. I find it interesting.
Like I said, I do too, because he got, as far as the regular season goes, he got better each year he was there. The team improved.
Yep.
Now I think his second year they went to like the second round.
Right.
And then the year after that they lost in the first round to the Clippers. But I don't know. I mean, you've heard Steph talk about how much he cared about him, or he in the past he has, I should say.
Yeah, him. I've heard him, Clay, and Draymond.
But
they spoke on how they felt about him.
I guess I'm reading this article here. It says Mark Jackson was insecure about his assistants getting credit for the team's success. Then he told, that's crazy. He said, I guess he reportedly told players that Festus Ezeli was rooting against the team while he was injured, which I didn't think Festus Ezeli was that good. So why he even?
Festus was a good player. He was solid.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, I was just thinking,
he was a starting center back then.
Yeah, and then it says that I guess the accusation so deeply wounded Ezeli that he was reportedly brought to tears. It says many have also pointed to Jackson's devout religious beliefs as a part of his downfall, with reports denied by Jackson that he tried to make players attend church. Then it says a large contingent of the Warriors team, such as Curry and Iguodala, have strong Christian faith, and this served as a connecting point between the players and Jackson. Yeah, I guess this article makes sense. It's like the location where they was at probably not the best for that too, because San Francisco's real liberal. So, and the team president Rick Welts was gay. So that probably didn't go over too well. So Interesting to say the least. See if he gets a job coming out of this. Do y'all think he'll be successful anywhere he goes, or does he kind of got to go to the right situation? Which standing that line doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think every coach got to go to the right situation.
Yeah, standing that line doesn't make any sense.
Nah.
Right. I think he
I guess like
I
I guess I'll try to put it like an example. I think the Knicks are bringing Thibodeau back. I think, but let's just say Mark Jackson with the Knicks with that roster. Do you think he can turn that roster into something that I guess Thibodeau did last year, but something that is better than what they put out this year?
I think if they gave him time to actually get in the pieces that he need and to work the way he need to work, yeah, he'd be able to fix the Knicks. I think so, and it may be what be the best place for him, the Knicks or Indiana, like one of the teams he played with. Someone who I actually know how he is as a player, because hell, the coach Knicks can't get worse. I can tell you that much.
Who's the coach of Indiana right now, LJ? I don't know.
He ain't going nowhere. Rick Carlisle.
Oh,
Yeah, he just got there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle, and they were terrible this year. Rick Carlisle ain't going nowhere though.
Is he overrated as a coach?
I don't think so. I think he's pretty dang on good coach. I wish we would have kept him.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though it
I
was
like him.
reported that he and Luka couldn't function.
I mean, I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about him as the coach. Y'all know I'm not the hugest. I don't have nothing against Luka, but I'm not the hugest Luka fan to begin with.
So would you trade him to the Lakers for LeBron and Westbrook?
He better than
No,
Isaiah
I'm not.
Thomas.
No, I would not. No, he is not, and no, I would not.
What if I threw in AD?
I don't want an aging LeBron, and I don't want a player who's gonna miss probably dang near half the season every year with AD. To me, Luka is a foreign Westbrook. You already got him.
You said what?
Really?
What you just
Wow.
say?
I've always said I think Luka's a foreign Westbrook.
Wow.
That's just my personal opinion. I think he cares more about his stats than he
Please
does about winning.
explain. Please explain.
About his stats. I think he cares more about his stats than the overall success of the team. Now, that at this point with the Mavericks, it kind of makes my argument null, I guess, because he hasn't had enough of the better teammates, I guess you should say.
Yeah, without Luka, y'all a top 3 lottery pick.
That is not true. That is definitely not true. Not even close to being true.
Why is it?
Now, will we miss the playoffs? Possibly. There's a chance that we would.
Boy, y'all ain't going no damn playoffs without no Luka.
Bro, at this point in the way NBA is now, all you have to make the top 10 seeds, you got a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't be one.
So you really think we'd be at the bottom of the conference?
Absolutely.
Hey, you losing your mind. We'd still be better than Houston. We'll still be better than Sacramento. I have to look at the thing. There's a bunch of teams on the West. I think we're still better. Without Luka, we've still been better than the Lakers this year. I can tell you that. Yeah.
No.
That ain't debatable.
No.
That is not debatable.
I know it ain't debatable. Y'all wouldn't have been better.
The Lakers were terrible.
Y'all would have been worse.
We'd beat y'all though.
Anyway. Yeah, maybe forget my train of thought. Y'all got anything else before we get off here?
Nah, man, I don't have nothing, man. Tell Tweety he needs to get back on here and find out what Mr. Greg got going on. Tell him stop running all the time too.
Well, other than that, I will say, I'm making a statement right here, right now. The biggest boxing match since Mayweather versus Pacquiao will happen this year. And
It ain't gonna happen this year.
it's probably gonna be in
It ain't
LA
gonna happen.
at the Staples Center or Crypto Arena, whatever you want to call it. You said what?
It ain't gonna happen this year. I don't see it happening this year. I definitely don't see it in LA. If it ain't in Vegas, it's gonna be in Dallas.
And boy, Terrence Crawford's not going for that.
I think he will. You know why? Because he not only do he want to beat him, he'd want to beat him in his hometown.
And Terrence Crawford ain't going for that. Ain't no way.
Bud he's arrogant like that. I like it though. I can't get mad.
Hey,
I think he do it.
if he fight in Dallas, I don't even know how to put this. If he decides to fight in Dallas, he didn't think he could beat Spence anyway.
I'm confused on that. Elaborate.
But Spence ain't losing at home.
What makes you say that? Anybody can lose, bro.
I know you can lose, but he ain't losing at home, bro.
What makes you say that?
This is why I say that. I don't think it is going to be. I don't think either one is going to knock the other out. But
I'm agree with you on that.
The crowd is going to sway those judges a couple times in those close rounds. That's what I say.
I don't know.
Because I think the crowd swayed him a couple times in the Ugas fight. There were some close rounds in that fight.
When the other day?
Yeah.
He knocked that dude out.
I know, but I'm saying, but prior to that, there were some close rounds. Especially at the beginning of the fight.
I think
What?
I didn't see what they had as the overall for the rounds, but I think Earl was winning most of them. I think he lost.
Yeah, he was winning. He was winning. Yeah, but I'm saying I think if that was in a I'd say neutral site, but you get what I'm trying to say.
So you really think that big of a difference?
Yeah, because when Earl lands a clean shot, right? Hell, even when he don't land a clean shot, he just lands something. Everybody go, ooh, ah, crowd get loud. I think.
But that's every fight. It ain't just him.
I'm saying in front of when you got 40,000 people doing it every time he land a shot is what I'm saying. Right. Versus ain't nobody doing it when you got 3,000 doing it when Ugas land a shot. That's all I'm saying.
Hello, because these ain't working.
Regardless where it's at, I'm there.
All right. We'll see, brother.
Well, that's
shoot,
it.
man. Let me get off this thing, brother.
We'll catch you next week.
All right, man.
You be